storms or challenges does not mean that something is wrong with that relationship. Every relationship looks cute on TikTok, looks cute on Instagram, looks cute on social media until real life shows up in forms of conflict, in forms of unmet expectations, in forms of miscommunication, or in forms of no communication. Some relationship gives you this what you're expecting versus what you're getting. So yeah, it might look beautiful online, it might look cute online, but they are really passing through, real life storms, real life situations. So how then do you keep God at the center of these problems? How then do you keep God at the center of these challenges when things are not going smoothly? How then do you put God at the center, when the things are not as you expected or as you wish them to be? How do you not just survive but also grow during these real life storms? How do you grow your relationship during these real life storms? The truth is that storms or challenges does not mean that something is wrong with that relationship. Hello, people. Hello, family. I'm Praise God and welcome to the channel. Here on this channel, I help you define love God's way, build kingdom relationships, and also grow in purpose. That is, live a life of purpose and a life of destiny. So if you've been wrestling with tension or tightness in your relationship, or wondering if challenges mean that the relationship is doomed, then this video is for you. So if you're ready, grab a seat and let us dive right in. Let's go. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to handle challenges in your relationship, what you should do when you're faced with challenges in your relationship. Now, the first thing you should do when you're faced with challenges, even before challenges occur, acknowledge that challenges are normal. Yes, know that no relationship of any kind is challenge-free. Every relationship has its own challenge. It might be small. Yes, it might be small, but there's always challenge because two of you are two separate human beings, two separate individuals from different backgrounds, different thinking patterns, different, ideologies. Even twins have challenges. Not to talk of people that are now that have different parents. So challenges are normal in every relationship. In fact, they are opportunities for you to grow. So conflicts are challenges are opportunities for you to grow and not signals for you to quit. So once your relationship is faced with challenges, I don't mean when the challenges are now frequent, when the challenges is now something that is almost all the time. Once such a situation, when challenges is always, it's better for you to take a second look at that relationship. That is, I'm not talking of those that are married. Even when you're married, if the challenges are coming frequent, it's time for you to seek for help. Yes. So no relationship is conflict free or challenge free. Just know that it's an opportunity for you to grow. It's not a signal for you to quit. Yes. Learn to communicate, don't accumulate. So don't accumulate grievances, don't accumulate wrongs, don't count, keep a record of all the offenses that you're passing through, that you're experiencing in that relationship. So learn to communicate. Know that communication builds bridges, but silence builds walls. Communication builds bridges to come to a resolution, but silence builds walls. So learn the difference between reacting emotionally and responding maturely. So you have to learn how to respond maturely so that that challenge or that conflict will not spiral into something else, bring about a situation whereby there's going to be fights. Yes, so you have to learn how to communicate, learn how to differentiate between reacting emotionally. Of course, you can't react when you're emotional. It's advisable whenever you're emotional, take a break, breathe, breathe in, breathe out, inhale, exhale, then you broach the topic. So be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So don't just be fast to react. Learn to, listen first. Be slow to speak, and also be slow to anger. So if there's any form of disagreement or any form of, friction, if possible, tackle it immediately. Tackle it immediately, but with wisdom. Yes. Now this is where wisdom comes in. So you tackle any form of disagreement immediately as much as possible. We have to do it with wisdom. So you know the difference between silent treatment or withdrawing a little or withdrawing to approach the issue again. So once you're faced with a challenge, or once you are maybe you're disrespected in the relationship, you have to know the difference between you don't have to go into silent treatment or ignoring the person. It's not going to help. It's a sign of immaturity. So you know the difference between silent treatment and draw a little while to approach the issue again. So if possible, approach that issue that day. Don't let it go into the next day. Talk about that challenge that day. Don't let it go into the next day, because there's something I believe in, that any hurt that you allow to sleep over, it's not even good for you. It's not good for that relationship, and it's not good for you. So if there's any situation or any disagreement of any kind, address it as soon as possible. So know what to say, how to say it, when you should say it, and if you should say it. So you don't speak out of anger or you speak out of emotion. Don't make statements out of anger or out of emotions. So once your emotion is heightened, once anger is there, keep quiet for a while, you know, take a deep breath, think about what you want to say. Think about how you're going to say it. If I say this thing I want to say now, how is it going to sound? Before you now decide if you will talk or not. So don't react out of emotion or react out of anger. Yes. So be careful first. Take a step back before you now broach the topic, before you now say what you want to say. Another way you can address challenges in a relationship, or you can address disagreements in a relationship, is you pray together, not about each other. You and the person that your relationship with, you and your spouse, you and the person that your relationship with, you pray together, but not about each other. So don't make prayer the last resort. So once there's any situation, when there's any challenge that is, especially when it's getting out of control, go to your Father in prayer. Go to God in prayer. Prayer should be your first weapon. So, and when you're praying about that challenge, you can pray about the challenge, but don't pray about your spouse or about your partner. So it's even better for you to pray together. When you pray together, you invite God into that conflict. And where God is, there is peace. So once you invite God into that conflict, God will start showing you where you are wrong, where you got it wrong, where you went out, blew the things out of proportion and all that. So praying together, even when you're mad at each other, is something that you should cultivate. So once there's a disagreement, learn as much before, don't let it get to the next day. That day, pray about it. Pray together. Pray about that situation, not about each other now. You can pray for each other, but not about, you can't tell God, Lord, this man has been doing this to me. Oh God, take care of him. Oh God, take care of him. You can't make such prayer. So you pray together, pray about the situation, then pray for each other. Now, another way you can address challenge in a relationship is you seek understanding before asking to be understood. So listen, that is where listening comes in. So you seek to understand. Okay, ask the person, okay, what are you really trying to say? Or what are you really trying, what do you want me to, what are you trying to tell me with this action, with this way, with this thing you said? What are you trying to tell me? I need to understand you. So you get understanding first, understand where the person is coming from, understanding the person's point of view, understand the person's perspective before you jump into conclusion. So as a mature person, someone that is moving to maturity, mature love listens to what is not being said. Mature love reads between the words. When somebody is saying something, look at the person's body language. The body language might be speaking a lot of things that that person is not saying. So mature love looks for what is not being said, and ask the person, "So, okay, what are you trying to make me understand? What are you trying to let me know? What are you trying to tell me? I need to understand you." So you get understanding first before you jump into conclusions. Another way you can address challenges in your relationship is know when to seek help. Know when to seek help. So when the conflict is being, maybe the challenge is now being something that is frequent, being repeated, and is blowing out of proportion, is blowing out of hand. Sorry, when the challenge is blowing out of hand, when the conflict is blowing out of hand, it's wise for you to bring in a godly counselor or a mentor. So you should have a person, or yes, a counselor, someone that is experienced and godly, or someone that is godly and experienced. So godly should be first. So when the situation is now getting out of hand, is advised for you to bring in someone that is godly, someone that is experienced, not those that will amplify the issue, not those that their homes are in shambles and they are looking for somebody's home that they are going to destroy, not those that will blow the situation out of proportion. So look for someone that is godly and someone that is experienced. Don't spiritualize dysfunction. Address it with wisdom. So once there is a pattern of conflict, once there is a pattern of unaddressed issues, it's better for you to seek for help, especially once it's blowing, getting out of hand. You seek for help from people that are godly and people that are experienced. Remember that growth is important. So in all challenge, everything that you're passing through, in all that you do, in your relationship, even outside of your relationship. Remember that growth is important. And one thing with conflict is that conflict brings about learning, brings about transformation, and it brings about growth. So if it's a relationship that is not marriage now, where you have the opportunity to opt out. So repeated conflicts or repeated disagreement, there's a kind of conflict that might be coming up that will keep, questioning your boundaries. Yes, questioning your values. So once it's being repeated, it's a sign for you to either you reconsider that relationship or you just outrightly move out of it. Yeah, outrightly move out of it. So if it's a relationship that you can move out from, I'm not saying that once the conflict occurs only once. I'm saying when it's repeated, you cannot say, okay, Mr. Jack, where are we going to? This conflict is being repeated now, and you're crossing the boundary. You're crossing the boundary that we set. Are we taking a step back in this relationship, or are we going forward with it? So conflict will make you to know if you should move forward with that relationship or if you should rethink it. Yes. So even when you're addressing conflict or when you're addressing a challenge, it's very good for you to extend the same grace you want to receive. If you want to be understood, if you want to be heard, if you want to be seen, extend the same grace. So that thing that you want people to do for you, also do it to them. Also do it to them. It's even in the Bible. The Bible, Jesus told us that the thing you want others to do for you, do it to others. So you extend the same grace you want to receive. Don't keep record of wrongs. Don't keep record of wrongs. Keeping record of wrongs is going to affect you yourself as a person, and it's going to affect that relationship. It's going to really, really affect that relationship. So you don't have to keep record of wrongs. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. There are some things that will happen, and it will be like a lesson for you what to do so you avoid it from happening again. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, okay, last year, 2024, January 5th, you did this to me. That's what I'm talking about. So you don't keep record of wrongs. Don't keep record of wrongs. Rather, keep growing. Keep growing. And when you're growing, remember to be humble, remember to be gentle, and remember to be patient. So growth is important in all that you do. Whatever challenge it is that you're facing, growth is important. Always bear in mind that every relationship will face its own share of storms. But with wisdom, with patience, and with a whole lot of Jesus, you can come out stronger. Yes, you can come out wiser. So every relationship is going to face its own share of storms, but you have to add Jesus. Jesus plus wisdom plus patience is going to make you stronger and it's going to make you wiser. However, there is one challenge that we can't ignore, and that is disrespect. What do you do when honor is constantly missing in your relationship? What do you do when you are constantly being disrespected in that relationship? That is what we'll be talking about in our next video. So do well to subscribe so that you don't miss that video. Subscribe, turn on your bell notification. If you learned one or two things for this video, consider dropping me a like, share the video, and drop me a comment. Ask your question in the comments. Put your, how do you handle challenges in your relationship? Put it in the comments there. I'll be there to be reading and to be replying. So until I come your way next time, remain purposeful, live a life of impact, and grow together. Bye bye.